Season 2 Hustle State of Mind. Welcome back.
Hey everybody, what's going on? How's it going today? We are back with another exciting season of Hustle State of Mind podcast. And I'm very excited to bring it back to you. It's been kind of a while since we've had some downtime, but we are here, we are live, we're healthy, and we're well. And I'm excited to show you all the guests that we're going to bring on for this second season of Hustle State of Mind. And it's going to be a good time. So got a guest here today, as a matter of fact, so let's get right into it. Before I do that, though, one other thing that I wanted to mention, again, is the main sole reason of this podcast is that I really do want to provide like insight and values of what it takes to be an entrepreneur. And for any of you out there who are thinking about being an entrepreneur, please give it a shot. Give us a listen. It's definitely worth it to take that step and leap of faith out there. And just like my guest today, she will tell you that it was worth it for her, and she'll get right into it and explain it. A quick couple of fun facts, though, about today's guest. I went on Wikipedia earlier today and just ran down, got all the facts off Wikipedia. So tell me if these are all true, okay? But I've known this guest for about 16 years. We've had the pleasure of going to college together. While we were both in college, we climbed leadership roles within our sororities and fraternities, our organizations there. Had the pleasure of going to Bonnaroo one time in Manchester, Tennessee with this guest. And our guest here today, she's a hardcore Zumba enthusiast, massive dog lover. Lastly, an absolute hustler in the real estate market and is ready to help you buy, sell, or rent. Today's guest is Ashley Trefney. Welcome to the show,
Thanks,
Ashley.
Zach. Actually, one of your facts is wrong. We went to Bonnaroo twice together.
Oh my gosh.
I just wasn't there the year you proposed to Kara, but we went twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Man.
Well, I think the first time we met up, and the second time I was really with you guys because I drove with Jimmy and Alex, and we met up with you guys there.
Okay, you went with Randy the first year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good memory.
Yeah.
Wow,
Okay.
Good job. Yeah. But everything else is true.
Well, I went on Wikipedia, so half that stuff is
Wikipedia
fake. So
page about me.
apparently they didn't put that we went to Bonnaroo twice together.
I know,
they have it up there for just once.
I'll update it. Don't worry.
Yeah, go ahead. Anybody can edit it. So by all means, go on there. But awesome. Yeah, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Me.
So yeah, you are my first real estate agent on here. There's, we all know there's quite a bit of real estate agents out there that do this, but I really wanted to focus on one that I knew very well. And I've known you for so long. You've been doing this for so long that this isn't just like, hey, let's try it out type of thing. This is your life.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to ask you we'll start off with just some kind of get to know you questions as far as start here. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Warren, Michigan.
Okay.
So just down the road. I grew up there. We never ever moved, even when all my friends were moving, because Shelby Township and Macomb were starting to get all those new houses, and all my friends left, and we stayed. And then I went to college at Oakland, and then moved on out of Warren.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Okay. Very cool.
Yep.
Warren in the house.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
College wise, or all schools.
Actually, we're gonna start with daycare. Yeah, daycare, preschool. No, where'd you high school?
High school I went to Warren Mott.
Okay.
And but I did spend 2 hours a day at Sterling Heights High School. My freshman year, 2 hours in the morning, and then sophomore through senior year in the afternoon doing theater. I was part of a theater program that it was kind of like a magnet theater program you had to audition for, and so I spent 2 hours there every day.
Okay.
Learning about theater and all kinds of stuff. I know you had Sophie on here, and you said you took some theater classes in college.
Yes. Nothing. I mean, I really, really did enjoy those classes though a lot. It was with Professor Mayhart, I believe.
Maybe.
He plays Scrooge in.
Oh, I had him for one of my classes in college. In Meadowbrook, he plays Scrooge.
Yes. And he's still, even to this day, I think we looked it up the other day, and he still plays Scrooge at Meadowbrook. So.
I believe that. Yeah. So I went to Warren Mott and then Sterling Heights High School for a couple hours a day to do some theater stuff.
Very cool. Okay, so we're already hitting at some background about what your interests are and stuff.
Yeah.
Love that. when you were growing up, did you have like a job during that time in high school?
My very first job, I mean, I babysat, the neighbors' kids and all of that stuff, but my very first job where I actually was like, employed by a company was at Red Hot and Blue in Sterling Heights. It's no longer there, but they had amazing barbecue food. Like, I was a hostess and I was the carry-out girl, but they had phenomenal food. They originated in like somewhere in the South, like Tennessee or something, and they brought it up here. It's like a car wash, but they had great food. And when you're 16 and have no money, it was nice to get some free food. But yeah, it was wild. They would like give you, if you wanted like a soda or pop, they gave you a pitcher, and people drank the whole thing. It was intense. But
healthy America.
Healthy, yes.
Absolutely.
Big old slab of ribs and a big old pitcher of pop.
Nothing like it.
Yeah.
So you said you were, what was your position there again?
I was the hostess, and then I got moved up to carry out. I got a promotion.
Ooh, nice. Okay. Yeah. I did that before. I was a host at Max and Irma's, and
nice.
I forgot. I'm literally drawing a blank with you're an expo.
Oh, yeah.
That was the hardest job I've ever had. I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
This is too much.
Yeah. I didn't do a lot of food jobs, but I do appreciate my time in them because it makes me very appreciative of people who do it full time and patient.
Yeah, it's brutal. So when you were kind of always just working then when you were in high school, you setting kind of those standards for yourself at an earlier age.
Babysitting, then Red Hot and Blue, and then I think that was it till I went to college.
Okay. Did you do something in college?
Yeah, I worked at Express at Great Lakes Crossing for a majority of college.
I remember this now.
Yeah, so I worked there, and then in the summertime, I was a cart girl at Maple Lane Golf Club.
Nice.
Maple Lane Golf Course. I'm not really a club. Yeah, that was by far my favorite job in the whole world. Being outside in the summer, I made amazing money. It was a really fun job.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting large tips from drunk golfers too.
It was so great. It was all cash.
Yeah.
I know we claimed a little bit of it, but I still sometimes drive by the golf course and I'll text the girl in charge. I'm like, if you ever need a cart girl in the summer, let me know, even though I'm 36.
Like, yeah, you want a cameo as a cart girl.
Yeah, it was such a fun job, but
No, that would be awesome. Yeah. I used to caddy at a golf course. I even enjoyed that. I was like 14 doing it. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're here. Years later, 18 years later, and you're killing it in real estate.
Thanks.
If you don't know, Ashley is an absolute beast. She's with Glover.
Yeah, Glover Agency. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. What made you decide that out of all the careers that are out there, right? You could have done anything. You have quite a resume.
Yeah.
Just knowing you in the past and seeing you be president of the sorority back then too, like you've had a lot of leadership roles, and that stuff goes a long way in life. What up until this point, what got you doing real estate? It was
kind of like a very random thing. So no one in my family has been in real estate or building or any construction, nothing. No one in my family is an entrepreneur either. So I just knew I never ever wanted to be in a corporate job forever. I didn't like working on projects I didn't care about. I didn't really like what I did. I didn't like having someone to report to. I didn't like saving up time for vacation. Like, I didn't like anything that like constrained you to. So my mom and stepdad, like years ago, they go to open houses for fun on Sundays to like get ideas. Yeah, to like get decoration ideas and like house layout ideas.
That is
and
so
just,
cool.
Because they just like doing that stuff. And they went to one day and they're like, if that idiot at that open house can do it, you could be a realtor. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want a job where like I can get sued, because in real estate you can. And so it just was like in the back of my mind forever. And I had dated somebody who was in real estate too and saw that he was doing okay and he wasn't putting a ton of effort into it. Yes, I will throw shade at him.
Okay. So he sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
he won't, And I don't know if he's even doing it anymore. But anyways, so
probably
I was
sucking at real estate
probably
still.
I would imagine so. So one day I was driving home. I just got put on like a probation period at my job, and I was like so fed up with it. And I drove by actually Jeff Glover's billboard, and I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? I don't know. I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to do, I don't want to do anything because I already had so much student loan debt that I'm like, I can't go back to school and get more. And I drove by Jeff's sign, and I was like, all right, that could be an interesting thing for me. Like, I can run my own business, because I did like a couple like side hustles. Like, I sold jewelry, so I was like running that little business, like little tiny snippets, but never full time, because I was working a different full time job. And I was like, all right, I'll just like talk to my mom and my stepdad about it, see what they think. They thought I was great, so I talked to a lot of my girlfriends who were in real estate, and just asked them, like, what was your first year like? How do I prepare for this? Do you like it? And I got a bunch of opinions. And then I just was like, I'm just going to sign up for the class, and I'll have this as an option. And I signed up, and yeah. And then that's really it. There's no relation to real estate. I hadn't even bought a house when I started real estate. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I just rented every year. Like, no idea. So yeah, that was kind of it. Just wanted to see.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I did you ever know I got a real estate license myself?
Get out of here.
Back in the day, yeah.
Okay.
And I was ready to when I was working at like a health insurance call center, I was ready to like leave the call center. I was like, this is my way out.
Yeah. You could be interviewing yourself right now.
I went and I could be, yeah. Thank God I'm not. But I went and got it. The first house I had to sell was a HUD home.
Oh.
I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And then I moved to California, so I was like, okay, I don't know anyone out here.
Yeah.
So
It's hard to do real estate when you don't know anybody, you don't have any friends or family
it's
out
massive.
there.
It's like
tough.
a lot of it starts off, I think you will attest to this, with like the support of the people around you and how important that is.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, kind of leading into all that, like how was it? So it must have been terrifying though, going from absolutely like, having like a paid salary job, something like that, to you're inching into absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You start at the bottom. You have no leads.
Yeah.
It's probably based on a lot of relationships that you have.
Yeah. It was like scary but exciting. I always say if something scares you, it's probably something you should do. But I knew I hated my job, and every job I went to, I liked it for a few months, and then I would then I would be miserable, then I go to a new location, like it for a few months, miserable. So I was excited to get out of that world. But yeah, a little scary being like, where is my money coming from? So I saved up, I think I saved like $10,000 before I started, just to be safe.
Yeah.
Because I had rent, I had bills, credit card bills, gas, needed to buy food, survive. So I saved up some money. No one told me I would spend most of that money on gas. My God, the amount of driving I do and in my first year. So I knew that I had saved some money. That's why I worked like finished my full-time job for a couple months. I was getting my bonus, and they usually gave pretty good bonuses. And I was like, I need to just like bank as much money as I can.
Right.
So I saved a bunch of money, and I was so excited to leave my job, like pumped. And I knew that if I just worked hard and started, then I would get a paycheck soon. So yeah, I joined a team, and within the first month going full time, I got something under contract, and I was like, this is the coolest feeling in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was scary and exciting, because I was just done with that part of my life, and done with that job, and done with being at corporate America, and like, just abiding by someone's rules, or me making all this money, and just goes to somebody higher up and doesn't do anything for me. So.
That was probably the one thing that pissed me off the most too, was just following anybody's rules. You want a Friday off, or like, don't ask me why.
Right.
Like,
right.
Just
you can go home a half day early, and you can wear shorts on Friday. Like, okay, I don't need that in my life.
And we're having pizza, but everyone can only take one slice.
Right. I saw this really funny video. It was a skit of like how businesses like try to keep their employees, and there was like Popcorn Friday, and they're like, how else would I eat popcorn as a 37-year-old? And like, they're like eating popcorn, and then the boss comes in, and he's like, if you guys are good, they're like, please say pizza next Friday. And he's like, you get pizza next Friday. And they're like, yes, the best job ever.
It's so true.
It's so true. Yeah. They're like,
sit in this little space until you're done with your work, and I'll call you when it's pizza time too. Like,
right. So it was really funny.
It's not the vibe.
No, not the vibe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So how was your first sale? Was it everything? Was it a lot harder? Was it, because like for me, even today, I'll give you an example. I did under 65 health insurance for a very long time, for the last 10 years. I was like, you know what? A couple of months ago, I was like, I'm going to start doing Medicare. I'm going to really focus on people that are over 65 and see what I can do to help them out. Holy smokes. The first sale for me, just doing Medicare, I'm so used to health insurance, was so intimidating.
Yeah.
What was your first sale like? Do you remember?
Yeah.
You probably remember very well.
Yeah, I do. Thankfully, my first clients were very organized. We actually just sold that house a couple weeks ago or months ago, and they bought a new house. So it was kind of exciting, like full circle moment.
So they came back.
Yeah, but no, they were really, really organized. It was hard getting them a house because that was in 2021 when like interest rates were at 3% and like you would go submit an offer and they're like, we have 35 offers on this one house, or this person is paying cash $900,000 over, not that much, but just exaggerating. Like that was hard. So I think we put in 8 offers before they got something accepted. And they were, super organized, got every document on time. I used a lender that I had known for years. We were friends before we both started doing real estate. And he was really on top of it because he'd been doing it for a while. And I luckily was on a team at that point. So we had like an admin staff that would say, okay, now your clients need to turn in A, B, and C. And now you have to do this. Now you have to schedule this inspection by this date. Like they were really guiding me. So that was really, really helpful. If I was a solo agent right away, I don't quite think I would have been as successful as I am now.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah. I mean, you're on your own. Like I had support from my brokerage and like our leaders and stuff and like other agents, but what I have known to ask them, or what I have known what they have 200 other agents they're working with. So this was nice to have like a team that would say, I'll write this addendum for you, or I'll send this off. Like they really helped me my first year. So that was really nice. There was literally no inspection issues. It was like the dream transaction where everything goes smoothly, everybody likes each other, nobody's yelling.
It's a really good first sale.
It was. I mean, I will say my first client that got under contract, we did not get to a closing table because she decided to exchange her car and upgrade her car in the middle of the transaction, so she couldn't get approved for her mortgage. She was a treat. I mean, she was I was just like, if this is the worst it's going to get, I'm going to be okay. She helped me realize like this could be the worst client you ever have. So we didn't actually get to a closing table with her. Like she wanted, on the way to the inspection, she called me and she's like, when can I start moving my stuff in? And I was like, once we close. And then she went to the house one day at 8 a.m. and like knocked on the door and asked the owners if she could move her stuff in. Like she was wild.
She's just breaking rules.
Yeah. I think she was a scammer. I don't think she actually had the money because every time I have to get like the earnest money deposit from her, she didn't have it.
You think she's like scamming to squat?
Yeah. It's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Wow.
Yeah, she was wild. By the end, my team was like, "Don't talk to her anymore. We'll take care of it." She got kicked out of the house she was staying in. She went to stay at a hotel, and she like invited me over for like a girls' night and like to go like in the hot tub and like drink wine and like have a sleepover.
How are you getting these leads?
She came in through Zillow and like literally. We saw a bunch of houses, but one house, the house she got, like she saw it and we wrote an offer and it got accepted. Somehow, I was like, this is the easiest transaction ever. I didn't have to even go to the house. And then from there, it just went downhill. Like, yeah, I made the mistake. I had to go get a contract signed by like her co-signer and I like went to the house. I didn't really know them. It was very dangerous, but I was like, I want to get this sale. 2 weeks in the business.
Yeah, look at you.
Yeah, but yeah, by the end she was like swearing at me. It was wild. So she was my first like client, but we didn't close. So my first client we closed. It was amazing, effortless, easy. I had guidance, so it was. Yeah.
Wow, I mean, man, that's
just touching the surface. That one.
You definitely need a client like that though. Like, yeah. I mean, even like my first client was my first sale in real estate, but this guy made me if I wouldn't have moved to San Diego, I probably would have kept doing real estate. But this guy really tested my limits so much to where it was every night during rush hour. He wanted me to drive out to like St. Clair Shores to see this house.
Yeah.
Like just take a look at something. The house was like $99,000. I'm like, just buy this thing. Right. Like, come on. Like,
you'll pay that off in a few years.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Well, my first client that didn't close, she was out looking at everything in St. Clair County. And like, I grew up in Warren. Like I never ventured that way. And I remember the first time she's like, I really love this house in K-Pack. Can you look it up? And I'm like typing in K-Pack on Google. I'm like, K-A-P-A-K. I'm like, where is K-Pack? And my boyfriend at the time was like, it starts with a C. And I was like, I have never been near Port Huron or like, Marine City. I've never been near any of that. So I would have to drive like an hour to show her houses.
You know what KPAC stands for?
No.
Cows, pigs, and chickens.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Cows and pigs and chickens.
Okay, I didn't know that.
That's what people say it stands for.
I mean, it makes sense. It's
it's in the middle of nowhere.
It really is.
It's
But yeah,
farmland.
so yeah, she was. I'll never forget her. But it did help me tell people like, make sure you don't buy a house or buy something in the middle of the transaction, because like my one client did, and she didn't get approved for her mortgage, and
You're constantly learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine. Wow.
I learned a lot with her.
That's a really good way to test your limits.
My actual first closed transaction was wonderful, and my clients were the best.
Yeah. Good. Well, yeah. I mean, you deserve something like that after that.
I agree.
Let's play a little bit of trivia here.
Oh, okay.
This is just a really quick one.
Okay.
Do you know how many real estate agents are in the state of Michigan?
No. I'm going to guess.
Okay, go ahead.
25,000.
No, Walter, do you want to guess?
I'm gonna say 40,000.
Walter, you're a little over. Price is Right rules. Ashley would have won.
Ding, 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 ding.
35,660 real estate agents are
Wow.
currently licensed in the state of Michigan.
That's a lot of competition.
That's a ton of competition, right? I mean, so with that being said, what sets you apart from the other 35,000 that are out there?
Ooh, you're asking me my value add.
Yeah.
So I'm really big on educating my clients of like the process, because let's be honest, like buying a house is confusing and scary because it's a big purchase. There's lots of things that go into it, lots of things that could go wrong, lots of contract dates you have to meet. So I'm really big on educating them, doing buyer consultations with buyers. Even if you bought a house, I still like to meet with them, really guiding them along the way, giving them documents that they can like reference of like, okay, now the inspection's done, check what's next. I really try to have good communication with them, just like at least once a week, if not more, usually more, because people want to check in every day. Because I always think about like, if I was, a seller and I didn't hear from my realtor for like 2 days, I'd be like, what's going on? I'm just anxious like that.
That's big.
Yeah. And I'm really big on social media. So like that helps a lot because, I'm promoting when I have listings coming. I'm promoting when I need buyers. I'm promoting, I'll do videos with like, advice about real estate. So I try to be really like have a good presence on social media.
Yeah.
So that's really big. That helps with just finding clients. So I'm really big on like prospecting for my clients, like listings. I'll reverse prospect, which just means like reaching out to agents who have their clients have that home on their search, letting them know it's available, price reduction, open house. I'll go door knocking, let the neighbors know about the sale.
I see you doing that a lot.
Thanks.
That you post about,
Yeah.
and I'm like, holy smokes!
Yeah.
That's, I mean, literally, no. This is why one of the reasons why that question even prompted. I wouldn't ask everyone that question because I mean, but no, I mean, literally, I see you talking about or posting about door knocking and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, I just want my clients to
You
know that
want
like
it
I'm
bad
working
enough.
for them. Yeah, I want them to know I'm working for them. I'm not just like putting it on the online in the MLS or putting a sign in the yard and like hoping for the best. Like I'm actively want to get their house. So I try to treat them as if like it was my house.
Yeah.
Or if I was the buyer. I try to like, be that support for them. So yeah, I do a lot of prospecting for them. And I was gonna say something else, but now I forgot what I was gonna say. I go to I go to conferences, so I do a lot of networking with like other agents in the whole state and actually North America, because we have people from Canada who come, which people might think like, why is that important? Well, if you're moving to another state, then I have got agents for you. So I have an agent referral database. And I do client events.
Yeah.
So I like when my clients are done, I don't just like forget about them. Some I do. Some I'm like, well, this was fun, but I don't ever want to talk to you ever again.
I see your client events a lot too.
Yeah.
You just did one you did a giveaway recently.
Yeah, I did a giveaway. So I try to like really stay in front of my people. I did a giveaway for opening day, did a giveaway for Valentine's Day. I did a puppy yoga client event.
You just threw $200 and some opening day tickets to somebody.
Yeah,
like
I did.
that's awesome. Not many real estate agents are doing stuff like that. Like most real estate agents, I feel like they'll make their real estate agent Facebook page, and they'll just post their listings to it.
Yeah.
And that's it. They don't put themselves on a camera and talk or anything like that and really get themselves out there. People don't know. People like, they're just following your page to see your listing. No, they want to follow your page to see you and watch you market yourself and see how personable you are.
Yeah. And I do try to post personal stuff too. Like, I don't want to be all real estate and people be like, cool, another listing or another like video about door knocking. Like, I do try to post personal things too. Like, I think last month I did like I had 7 months sober. So like I posted that. People could see and like relate. And I actually get a lot more responses with personal stuff versus real estate, but then that keeps my algorithm
It
live.
keeps everybody engaged with you and who you are and what you're doing too. So I mean, you're staying relevant.
Yeah, just trying to stay in front of people.
Yeah,
so.
Awesome. No, that's really good.
Thanks.
Okay, so as far as everything goes, I mean, like, let me just ask you this: like, the biggest challenge. What's the current? Because the real estate agent or the real estate market's always shifting. You know, rates. Pricing, stuff like that. What's your current biggest challenge right now that's stopping you from making more money?
It's honestly probably myself.
Why is that?
Because I've been on Jeff's team since August, but I've been doing training and I've been doing coaching with them, and they have something called the Gloverisms, where they have these little sayings, and there's a saying that says, I'm probably going to butcher it. Please don't get mad, Jeff. The market doesn't control my success. I do. So, like, there's always going to be an obstacle in real estate, and there's always going to be, the economy, and there's going to be interest rates, and there's going to be not a lot of buyers. It's going to be seller's market, buyer's market. Like, like I think about in California, nobody predicted all those houses burning down. Like, that's something nobody could predict. So really, I feel like I control my success. So sometimes I might not make calls like I should and prospect like I should, or I might feel a little burnt out because I worked 25 days in a row because I wanted to have some big goals this year. And maybe on the 25th day, I maybe do a little more social media than I do talking to people and making contact. So I feel like I've gotten better from when I first started. When I first started, I was like a fire hose. I was just like all over the place. And now I have an actual schedule. I run it like an actual business.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some days where I just don't feel like doing the things. And sometimes I give into that. Sometimes I push through. And I think the days I give into that is what stops me from having the success I have. Because there's agents in our office. We have an agent. His name is Sean. And he's got an admin. And he's a whole different work mind. But he did either 135 transactions last year or 135 million. Either way, those are big numbers, and he's the top producing agent in our team.
How do you be more like Sean? What can you do that would make you more like Sean?
Sean, I think it's just our personality styles. He's very like he's like numbers guy. Let me get my stuff done. Let me do my schedule. Let me go home. He's very disciplined. With me, I'm like a little more loosey goosey, and I don't like. I have a coach for accountability, but sometimes I just don't hold myself.
You're still making
accountable.
cake though, too.
I am.
So.
I could be doing more. I could be making more if I put a little more effort in. And I do work hard. Like I said, some days on day 25, I just want to like scroll on social media or like comment and connect people that way versus like actually picking up the phone and calling.
Yeah.
So it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah. I've heard that somewhere. Okay. I mean, so this is like more of like the hustle segment of the podcast. So when it comes to sales, are you naturally like a salesperson, or is this something that like you're like kind of like stepping way out of your comfort zone to do?
Yeah, for sure. Stepping out of my comfort zone. When I started real estate, I was like, I don't ever want to be one of those salesy realtors who's just like in your face all the time, can't let things go. But I discovered that I can do that, but not in like a pushy way. But for me, I'm very like, if someone's like, I'm not ready to buy a house, I'm like, okay, thanks, have a great day. Because I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to like offend anybody. But I find that when I'm a little more passive, it doesn't always work out in my favor. Like I could try to like close for an appointment a few more times than I actually do. So no. And there's actually a quote by Gary Vee that I saw the other day, and it was like, I'm not good at sales, but I'm good at talking about things that I care about. So now like I'm trying to like focus more on like making videos to like put out to social media to hopefully bring in clients, or just like sharing more knowledge or talking to people that are close to me about real estate. But no, I'm not a natural salesperson, and I still have so much to learn, so much sales language that I don't know about. I have all these books, but I don't read them. They're at my house. They're there. But no, I am not a natural salesperson. I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah.
Trying to recover from it. But so I don't like to like make people uncomfortable or like push them too much. But I realize in sales, like I'm not to be pushy, but I can be assertive, and
it's okay to be like that too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think you start to notice too, like the further outside of your comfort zone you're getting is where you make more money.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're not doing it for fun. So if you're doing things that you're making you really uncomfy, it's, what's hard in the beginning is easier later on type of thing, to where it's going to get easier and easier, and you're going to get more used to it. It's not going to make you who you are,
Right.
But it's going to be an added skill to your arsenal.
Yes. And it is kind of fun when like I do overcome an objection and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I just said that. Look at me go.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling. I just need to get better at like the language of sales and, just being a little more like, not so much like someone doesn't want to sell a house. And I'm like, okay. I hear other agents in my office. There's one agent, his name is Santino, and he is so good. He'll be like, he does not give up until they like physically hang up on him. Like, and he's not being rude. He's literally just using all these different objection handlers that Jeff has taught us. And he's practiced his scripts, and he's just so smooth. And I'm always like, gosh, I want to be like him.
Yeah.
He's great at it. He's just like he just has all the different things, and he makes it, again, not pushy, but he closes so many times during a phone call that I'm like,
smooth on the phone.
Smooth on the phone. He's like,
Santino want to come sell health insurance?
Maybe.
It's I feel like phone is a lot easier though, because you're not in front of someone's face.
Right.
You can't really see the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like getting behind your keyboard on social media. Letting somebody have it a little bit.
I will say though, door knocking, people are way nicer to me versus on the phone, because no one's going to tell me, go fly a kite in person. On the phone, they've got all this courage. They don't know who I am. We've gotten some really intense phone calls from people, and I've been called a lot of fun names. And I'm like, okay, if I was standing in front of you, would you call me that? Probably not.
No, not at all.
So it's just all different, but yeah, good times.
So, okay, so I mean, not being a natural salesperson is okay, but like, how do you hype yourself up? Do you have like a pump up song that you listen to, or like what do you do to pump yourself up? And
no, I try to just focus on like my goals and like what I want, and it helps it make like not as scary when I always say like starting real estate January 1st, like I literally start back at zero. The year is over. I have zero sales, zero money. So to think like I want to make this much money by the end of December, or by the end of the year is overwhelming. So I try to break it down by like months. Like this month I need to make X amount of money. This month I need to have this many closings. So that helps. But just when we do our business plan, Jeff always makes us start with like our unreal life portion of the business plan. So like, if you made X amount of money, what would you do with that money? And it's like places you want to go, experiences you want to have, things you want to, it's basically a vision board, things you want to do for people, charities you want to donate to, stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So he always says like, if he could pick any part of the business plan to do, it would be that, because without that, what are you working towards? You're not, right. Like I need a new car. And it's like, okay, how much is this new car? And like he is very granular. Like, what kind of car is it? What year? What color? What is that cost?
Miles per gallon.
Right. I'm trying to look at hybrids because
right.
I'm filling my gas like once
a
week, if not more. And so then calculating how many transactions that's going to get me, or how many transactions I need to get that car. So like, really focusing on the things I want in life, not even just like 1 year. He always says like don't do more than 5 years, so like 1 to 5 years. Where like what countries do I want to travel to? What do I want to do for my family? What do I want to do for like fun? What do I want for like a house? So just remembering the things that I want helps me on the days where I don't want to make calls, being like, okay, like prime example, last year I took my niece to New York for the first time. She wanted to go for her birthday, and she wanted to go during Christmas time. So last year was
my favorite city.
Yeah, and she just loves big cities. Like went to Chicago once, and she had like a Chicago city outfit. Like she's 13, but she's like got this really cute personality. And And in July, I went to a Glover retreat up in Traverse City, and my business was kind of suffering. I was doing okay, but not like my previous years. And they always say like, what goals do you want? Like, who are you doing these goals for? I don't have kids or anything, but I have my niece who like really looks up to me. And I'm like, you know what? Like, stop messing around. You have till December to like go on this trip. Like, how bad would you feel if you told Alyssa, I can't go because Auntie Ashley like slacked off at work, or Auntie Ashley didn't make the phone calls I needed to? And that every time I didn't feel like doing something, I was like, think of the disappointment on her face and how horrible of a human you'll feel if you can't.
Bags are packed, sitting on her front porch with her I Love New York shirt on, just
right,
crying. It's
right,
raining.
exactly. The worst
No one's
situation, like. Exactly, dressed in all black, like becomes goth and like depressed because of me.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. This is a life-changing
one moment,
trip
right? So, because my mom and I went to New York a few years ago, and she was 10, and she wanted to come, and we're like, when you turn 12, we'll take you. So like, she's been looking forward to this for years, and I was just like, every time you don't feel like doing something, every time you don't want to wake up early to go to the office, like think about disappointment on her face,
Wow.
and that is like what I said I don't have kids, so like I need something more than just myself to look forward to, so or to help, to hold myself accountable to. So, and after that, I enrolled in like a 76-day challenge because I knew I needed something to push me. And in October, I had my best month in real estate ever, and I was like, heck yeah, this is like the motivation I need. So I just really try to remember. And then we got to go on the trip, and she had the best time ever. I didn't have to put on a credit card. I paid for like our tickets to see some shows. Like, it was great.
Yeah.
And she had the best time. And she told me when I come to New York to visit her when she's older, I can watch her dogs and her cats.
Oh,
she wants to live there.
That's lovely. You got a free place to stay.
She's like, you can watch my dogs and cats when I live here. I'm like, okay.
You probably save yourself like $4,000.
Exactly.
If you stay there for 3 days.
But we'll be like in a 200 square foot apartment. So
yeah,
I just really look back at like look to the things that I want to accomplish in life. And like, I love to cross things off a list. It makes me feel good about my like sigh of relief. So that's what keeps me going.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's a great answer. I love that.
Thanks.
I mean, as far as targets this year for real estate, what are your like you don't have to like say financially or anything, but like how many houses are we trying to close this year, like and all that stuff?
Trying to do 38. Well, I will do 38.
Yo.
So that's like 3.76 a month. So I said if I can do 4 closings a month, that'll get me to 48, which would be the most I've ever done. Most I've ever done is 33. I did that 2 years in a row. And I've always wanted to get to 50. I'm like, we're going to go to 38, be realistic, because last year I did not do 33. So 38 is the magic number. This week I'll have had 9 closings for the year. I'm like, okay, it's only April. We're like a quarter of the way there. And it's not really
in season yet either.
Exactly. So I got 3 quarters left to go. But yeah, that's the goal. And that'll get me able to like save some money, buy a new car. Like, it'll get me to the things that I put on my 1-year vision board.
Okay. Well, so what does that look like in your normal life? Like, what extra things do you have to do personally to accomplish those?
Yeah, so I have to have 23 conversations minimum a day with new people. So like, if you were my client and we talked on Monday and then we also talked on Tuesday, I can't count that as two conversations.
Right.
So just going off like
prospecting.
I use a system to track my numbers, and then my coach and I break it down by like, okay, you need this many, you have this many listings, this many signed, this many pending. So I break it down by that. So 23 minimum a day, which is hard. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Even when I'm on the phones, I get maybe like within 2 hours, I get like 10 conversations. Okay, that's only 10. I got 13 more to go.
Do you have a personal goal per conversation as far as talk time goes with each person?
No.
Okay.
Because everyone's different. Like, some people are in a hurry. Some people are.
The phone-based part of real estate definitely has me like my wheels spinning.
Yeah.
Like, everything I do is on the phone.
Yeah.
Almost everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, unless, for your insurance, I'm like, hey, come on in. Let's talk and get health insurance.
Right.
But like 99% of the people are on the phone. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, right now when I started, if you there's 2 ways you can do it, but you can do like a call center where you're doing like outbound calls and getting people, and everything is so metric based like that I mean the the metrics of real estate
Yeah.
and being on the phone and the new conversations that you're talking
Yeah.
about definitely have me like, I'm like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
this is interesting.
Yeah, so 23 conversations a day, and then I'm really trying to, I'm trying to double down on things in the past that have worked for me. So a lot of my business comes from like my friends and family and like referrals. So I used to do like 1 email a month, and then like maybe a mailer every like quarter, and 3 to 4 client events a year, depending on like the timing of things. So this year, I'm doing a mailer every month, an email, and then like a phone call or a text.
Okay.
Not to everybody in my database, because that would take forever. So I'm trying to double down on that. So if I did 1 source and it got me X amount of deals, if I did 3 things instead of 1, that would triple, hopefully, the goal is to triple the amount of transactions from that source.
Yeah.
So doing that, and then I introduced a new source of business into my business this year. It's called hybrid farming. So you pick like an area or a group of people that you constantly market to every single month, and it's like a hybrid of like phone calls, emails, letters, events. So I'm part of Grosse Pointe Theater, and that's a community theater in Grosse Pointe. I've been with them since 2018. I've done a few shows with them. I get a ton of business from them because it's like 300 plus people. I think there's more. There's got to be like 500 people. I don't know. But I get a ton of business from them. So now I'm trying to be more involved with the shows. I'm sponsoring like food at events, just like trying to be present. I have like our whole contact, or like, what's the word? The book that everyone's contact information is in, their addresses, not database.
Your Rolodex?
Like a Rolodex.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Have them so
Directory.
Directory is what I was looking for. Thank you. I can send them, information about real estate. So just trying to add in more sources, but also double down on what I'm doing. So in the morning I do phone calls, and the afternoon is like servicing the business. So like any appointments, responding to emails, marketing, all that stuff.
Right. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So, honestly, I will say, like, hearing about like all the stuff you do, right? This is the state of mind part. It sounds exhausting. like honestly, like as far as like, do you ever just go home and you're just like discouraged?
Yeah. Honestly, with this job, even though I have a wonderful, she's not my assistant, but she's a few assistants. Or she's an assistant to a few agents in my office. She helps me with like client events and addendums and mailers and all that stuff. But even with her, I could probably work till 9 o'clock every single day of my life. But I have to like physically stop or I'll get burnt out. But there are times I come home and I'm like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. Like yesterday, I worked all day, and then I had to go pick up something from a past client's house, like the little lockbox. And then I had to go home. I have a client in Arizona. We had to fill out disclosure. So at 8:15, I'm on the phone with her, and I'm just like hung up. And I was like, I'll get you the document tomorrow, but I'm going to like just watch TV and like let my brain just like rest. But there are days that are like very discouraging. Either like a deal is falling apart, or I didn't make the phone calls because in the moment I didn't want to, but then when the day's over, I'm like disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot, and you have to just be like organized. I can still work on organization and being organized, but you gotta have some systems in place to like not go crazy.
What? Yeah. So what are those systems?
They're all in my head. They're not written down. But I've got systems for like when a new buyer comes in. I have systems for when a deal closes, like what I do. I have systems for client events, like how to invite people. I have a system for, when a listing goes live, like what I do leading up to it. I have a system for open houses, like all the big things. I'm actually just starting to write them down. But in my last job, that's what I did. I wrote training programs.
Yeah.
And I wrote, training booklets. So for me, it's sometimes hard to like sit down and go back to that old mindset.
Right.
So I always joke, I'm just going to hire one of my old employees to just write it for me.
Yeah.
Just all different systems. There are days where I come home and I'm like, good Lord, I just want to take the whole week off.
What do you do when you come to that to make you like, is there something that you do mentally, or do you meditate? What is it that makes you like free your mind so you can go back the next day and do it again? For me personally, it's, you mentioned you don't do this. If I work a lot, I'm gonna just start drinking.
Yeah.
Like Because I'm like, man, I worked really hard. I'm
Yeah,
drinking. Like,
yeah.
you know, it's great. There's
Yeah,
nothing
nice
like
little
a beer after a
reward.
hard day's worth of
Yeah.
work. You know,
I agree with that.
I respect and I think it's cool that you're on
Yeah.
that journey. But so what do you do now?
Yeah. So I have to work out. I work out 4 mornings a week. So I work out Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 6 a.m. Starts my day off right.
Yeah. Okay.
The best part is I get out of the gym and no client needs me. Like if I worked out at 5 p.m., I might come back and have this great mindset and open my phone and there's 10 text messages from clients. Like for me, that morning is like my little peaceful moment where like even after I'm done working out, like nobody needs me, so I can like get ready in peace, listen to music, listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
So working out is essential. I also teach Zumba on Tuesday nights, which is also nice because I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and I don't look at it because I can't.
Yeah.
I'm teaching. Can't be on my phone texting clients. So that's huge for me. Mel Robbins is a big podcaster I listen to.
I like her a lot.
Love her. She was actually at Keller Williams Family Reunion. It's like their big conference they have 2 years ago. And I actually just went for her. The conference is great, but I went for her. She's phenomenal. Listen to her a lot because she's real and she like knows the struggle of having a business and like going a million miles a minute. So I listen to her a lot. And yeah, sometimes it's just like I just take a day off. Like, and it might be unplanned, unexpected, which but I can feel when I've reached burnout. And I can feel when I'm like, if I go in the office and someone asks me one more question, I'm going to snap. Like, I can physically feel my mood changing. Like, I was leaving the office a couple of days ago, and it was a Thursday, and I was like, see you guys Monday. And someone's like, Monday? And I was like, yeah, I need a day off. And I was like, oh, it was kind of snappy. But, like, I could just feel, like, I just was at that point where I was
Everyone's definitely felt like
yeah,
that
I
you
just
said
want to,
that
like,
too, so whatever.
yeah, I just want to, like, sleep in a little bit, like, clean my condo, just, like, have nothing planned. I will still reply to emails, of course. But, yeah, I just take a day. Take a day for me. So those are the big things I do.
That's good. And then, how long have you been sober for?
I think it'll be 8 months this month. I start July 25th, I think, is when I went sober.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has that helped your like mental clarity? I mean, like I know, like, what am I doing? Yes, of course it's helped, right? But like, how has that impacted your life? Like, I mean, you want to talk about that?
Sure. So I was never like a huge drinker. I mean, in college, of course, everybody was, but when I left college, I never really liked the taste of alcohol. I just did it because it was like social and fun and
Me
just
too.
want to
I
sometimes.
hate it. No, I'm just kidding.
Sometimes you just want to have a night where you just get drunk and you like have a good time. But for me, it was like I just drank socially and I was just kind of done with it, so I stopped. I would say the biggest thing for me is just like realizing how I am in social situations without a drink. Like I feel like there's so much pressure, just like I'm just gonna grab a drink because everyone else is.
Liquid courage.
Yeah, liquid courage. Not that I would ever do this to a client, but sometimes you like send a text message and you're like, the next day you're like, I shouldn't have done that. Now I have no way to be like, oh, it's a drunken mistake. Like I don't do any of that anymore because I can't. Yeah, I guess I wasn't like, everyone's like, when I announced I was done drinking, everyone's like, get ready for like, lose a bunch of weight and to like have really clear skin. And I'm like, it's not like I was drinking like every night or like I was binging on the weekends and like drunk every weekend. It was just like a glass of wine at dinner.
You animal.
Right. A glass of wine at dinner, like a Truly or something. And I would drink half of it. I'm like, I don't even well, except wine. I love wine. Or like Moscow Mule. I would drink like half a Truly and be like, this is disgusting. Why am I drinking this? I don't even like it. So I feel like it's just helped me become like, find out more of who I am as a person. And then I look at some people who are drinking and I was like, I don't ever want to act like that again.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. No, you can see both sides of the table.
Yeah.
And I mean, definitely, I mean, like there's like like even when I take like a break or something, I'm like, oh, I feel like you're pretty mentally clear.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I'm sure you've definitely seen performance based too with work and stuff. Like, I mean, again, you said you weren't a big drinker before that, but I can imagine like, you're already into your health and all that stuff. So it's definitely like kind of it's giving you more gratitude for your health, I would imagine too, and stuff like that.
Yeah. And for sure. And like, just going back to like, I can be around people who drink, like people who, it's very nice. Like my boyfriend will always be like, are you okay with me having a drink? And I'm like, yeah, like it's not like I had a problem, but it is nice that he asks.
Yeah.
But I was just at that conference in Arizona this year in January, and there was a realtor there who drank way too much, and she did a mistake. She said something that literally, like, I don't think she'll ever be invited to a conference ever again, because she was drunk. She said something she shouldn't have to our keynote speaker in front of the whole group, and it was just like a collective like from the room, and she got escorted out. I don't think she'll ever be back again.
Would she like get the mic in it and stand up and ask?
No. She screamed it out during the keynote. It was a very important keynote speaker, General McCraven. He is a 5-star general. He led the mission to capture Osama bin Laden.
Oh,
like,
God.
He's a big deal. Like, a huge deal.
I mean, yeah.
Like, I don't care what political party you're on. Like, you're rooting for America for that to happen.
Yeah.
Lots of people could have died. It could have been a huge war if they didn't capture him. And there was a picture of Joe Biden on the screen, and she shouted out something really, really disturbing about Joe Biden, President Biden. And she got escorted out, and she was very drunk. And I'm sure, like, maybe in a couple of years she'll be invited back, but, like, you can't risk her doing that again to another keynote speaker, because it's a reflection on everybody there.
Just heard shouting out like these Medal of Honor.
Yeah, and she was like right. It was like she was in the back of the room and shouted it out and was escorted out. So I'm like, yeah, like I never got to that point, but I just don't want to risk it, you know?
Yeah.
So, but no shade to people who drink at all. Like, it's just not.
I'm actually drunk right now. No, I'm
wow,
just
you're
kidding.
so good. I would have never known.
Cool. One other thing too that I'll ask you, because I want to do a segment on this one day, but I'll ask you because maybe we can collectively like do something with these clips. But how important, and this is going to be one of my last questions. I got two more.
That's
this
okay.
one, the next one. But how important do you think your overall health correlates to who you are as an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Like, do you see the correlation there with you waking up at 6 a.m. and all that stuff?
Yeah. When I started real estate, I was just before real estate, I was very like workout 5 times a week, like teaching, like I was very active and I was very healthy.
Yeah.
And when I started real estate, going from like a strict 9 to 5 where you have weekends off is so different than if you're not working, you're not making money.
Yeah.
So when I started real estate, like I was just like all over the place. I was doing showings, until 7 p.m. at night, 8 p.m. at night. Like I was doing all these things and I was putting myself on the back end, and I could feel like how bad I was feeling about myself. Like I was getting a little depressed. I would come home exhausted and I would just like eat chips, or I would like, order out or something. I still don't get enough sleep, but I wasn't getting enough sleep. I wasn't prioritizing myself, and I could feel like just how that affected my business. I could feel that like I was more distant, or I was short and grouchy, and I was, just a little more snippy. So that definitely not making myself a priority and like taking care of my health absolutely affected it. Being an entrepreneur, being a real estate agent, realtor is a huge mindset. Like it's tough. It's hard. People change realtors, or their deals fall through, or you have a client who your personalities don't mesh, or you've got client event and you've got closing and you've got all this stuff going on, or whatever the case may be. You have to really stay mentally tough. Like you have to be like, I know what I'm doing. I'm good at it. Like, don't let this person make me feel bad about myself, or don't let this deal, falling apart ruin your whole day.
Right.
So mental health for sure is huge with that. And I always say, like, I never had anxiety until I had this job, because it's so much like your paycheck relies on it, unless you have, rentals, or you have other passive income. But if this is it, like, this is it. So, therapy is huge. I go to therapists. That's huge. Talk about personal business, relationships, and then just, again, trying not to make it your whole real estate, your whole career, like trying to have that balance of like friend and family time and going on trips, because when I was listening to the podcast you had with the ice cream place, I can't think of the name.
Bombshell.
And they're like, we haven't taken a day off in how many years. And I'm just like, wow, that's like gotta be so exhausting.
It's wild.
And it's so different, real estate versus running a brick and mortar shop. It's so different. But I do think people put, especially on realtors, they put so much emphasis on like, I have to be available at any time, drop of a hat. And that's what I thought when I started in real estate. And that's what really got me to like a place where I didn't take care of myself. Now when I meet with clients, I tell them like, I work till 7. If you call me after 7, unless it's emergency, you lost your job and closing's tomorrow, okay, that's different. But if you just have a question, I'll get back to you the next day. Or like, I don't take calls from clients until, the afternoon because I'm working on getting new business. And my voicemail I have, hey, you reached Ashley if you're calling between the hours of 8 and 12. I'm prospecting for new business. I'll call you after. If you reach me after 7, I'll reach out to you the next business day. Like really trying to like let people know that I'm not available at any time because, someone's like, my realtor was available at 11 p.m. at night. Well, I don't want to be available at 11 p.m. I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
And like if I had kids, like I want family
realtor
time.
Probably only sold like 4 houses last year, so you're like their only client.
Right. So it's like I have to really set boundaries. I think that's a huge thing of like mental health is like boundaries. But it's hard when you have a job that people count on you and they're stressed out and they're anxious.
Yeah.
But I am a big advocate of like get a therapist, go to therapy. If you need to get medication, take care of yourself, carve out some time. I mean, when we do our business plan, Jeff tells us, like, first thing you put on your calendar is your family time, your time for yourself, and then you fill in all the business stuff. Because he's like if you want this to be a lifelong career, same with any entrepreneur, you have to have boundaries and you have to, like, take care of yourself. And it's hard in the beginning to do that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good. That was a good answer.
Oh, thanks.
So, lastly, what's like the quick version of like how would you give like what advice would you give someone who's thinking about doing real estate?
I would say if you're thinking of doing real estate, just jump in, do it. This doesn't work for everybody, but if you want to do real estate full time, you really can't have any distractions. You can't have a side hustle. You can't. I mean, I say that, but I teach Zumba. I dog sit, but those are like Zumba's 1 hour a week. For
right.
me.
Dog sitting is at your house.
Is at my house. I bring a lot of dogs to the office, which everybody loves that.
Yeah.
But to have like another full-time career, another part-time career, and doing it part-time. And again, not everybody wants to do real estate full-time, but if you do, you really have to be full-time. And I would say find an office or brokerage that like has a brick and mortar shop. There's a lot of like online brokerages. And that works for some people, but if you're brand new, you need a lot of support. You need a lot of training. You need people there where you can ask questions. You need somewhere to go to that, like, because if I was just working from home, I'm not as productive. And again, this is just me, but this is from experience I've seen. I need to go to the office. I need to ask questions. I need to have somebody I can turn to. So going to an office where it's an actual office where you've got good training, you've got good leadership, those things change your whole real estate. Like, in my last office, and even now, my new one, like when there's a new agent and I hear all the stuff they're learning about and I see them sitting there, I just get this like, I know that feeling. It's overwhelming. And so I don't have any guidance.
It's intimidating.
It's so intimidating and I don't have any guidance. So I would say go all in full time, find a place where that like a good brokerage that has good training, good leadership where you can go to ask questions and learn from them and make it your own. I think there's so much pressure, especially with real estate, to like you have to do business a certain way, but this is like your business. So like there's an agent on our team who doesn't outbound prospect. He does all database and he's a $15 million producer every year.
Wow.
He does really not $15 million. He doesn't make $15 million, but his sales are $15 million, which is awesome, which is impressive. That takes a lot of sales to get to that. So like really run it on like your strengths. And if you don't know what those are, then just try everything, and then see what sticks. And just treat it like a business. I think a lot of us don't think like, oh, you're just a realtor. Like it's not an actual business, but it is. You need a business plan. You need to have your finances straight. You need to learn about taxes, which I'm still not super great on. You need to learn how to like be social. But yeah, just treat it like a business, but definitely like make it how you want. I think there's so much pressure to like, you have to do it this way. You have to call these people. You have to like, do X, Y, and Z, and what works for one person doesn't work for the other. So just don't feel pressure of people telling you how to run your business because it's your business.
I love that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Thanks.
Awesome. And then most importantly, this is the plug part.
Ooh.
how do people contact you and find out about you, your business, all of that? Where can they find you?
So I'm on a couple of different social media sites. You can call me, and I'll put it out there because my phone number is public, 586-215-1211, 586-215-1211. Text or call. You can find me on Facebook with just my name, Ashley Trefney. Instagram, I think I'm Realtor Ashley Trefney. Those are the two social media sites I use the most. You can message me, you can whatever. And then my office is in Birmingham, 330 Hamilton Row in Birmingham. Those are probably the best ways to find me.
Awesome.
You can email me, ashleytrefney@gloveragency.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much
Thanks
for coming on
me.
for the first episode of season 2. It's going to be a hard one to follow up after for any future guests that's coming
somebody
on
will
here.
be all right.
But no, seriously, hearing just about your hustle and what you do every day, and keeping the mental health in check, all that stuff. Seriously, thank you for coming on and sharing that, and I truly, truly, truly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And it's been an honor knowing you and to continue to know you. So.
Same. Thanks, Zach.
So that's it, everyone. That's episode 1 of season 2, Hustle State of Mind podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I think I started to forget to say this at the end, but please give us a like and subscribe to us on YouTube, Instagram. We're on all platforms. We're even on Spotify as well. So we're gonna keep on putting this content out. Thank you again to Walter here as well for jumping back on this with me, and this is a really fun project that we're doing. So thank you so much for everything, Walter, and all that you do. You guys saw the camera work. There's so much stuff going on right here. So
There's a lot.
Thank you, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.